What we'll be doing next is a bell tolling ceremony in commemoration of the Asian Holocaust victims. The presentation was put together by students from Guildford Park Secondary, together with student representatives from each participating school. And now we'll ask each of the student representatives to say a few words and then toll the bell.
Remember the 35 million victims who died or were injured at the hands of aggressors' nations during World War II in the Asia-Pacific region. Remember the girls and women who were subject to unbelievable horrors as comfort women, the medical experimentation and the use of biochemical weapons on humans. The Canadian veterans who were POWs in Hong Kong, all civilians and soldiers in occupied territory, and those that risked their lives to help. Their sacrifices were not made in vain, as we will never forget.
Today's topics of discussion spark a particular interest to me because of my family history. I am a Canadian-born Chinese. My grandfather and his mom and sister were living in China when the Japanese were invading. One day, Japanese soldiers invaded my grandfather's village. He was just a child. The soldiers either took people as prisoners or killed them. Luckily, my grandfather, along with his mom and sister, went on the roof to hide. Meanwhile, his best friend was killed. They were very lucky to have lived through the attack and to have found happiness, unlike the many others who perished. Even to this day, my grandfather does not like to talk about what happened because the emotional wounds are too deep. It is important that we honor the deceased and recognize the bravery of those whose human rights were violated in these invasions. The strength and hardships of these people and the others who were similarly targeted because of their race or beliefs should never be forgotten. We owe it to the victims and to ourselves to better our society so that history doesn't repeat itself in the future.
Today we gathered in anguish, remorse, and in sadness for the atrocities committed in the Asia-Pacific War. The horrors themselves will live in infamy for the pain and anguish they wrought, and it is easy to remember this evil, but we must do more. We must remember the millions who died as non-combatants, the countless others who suffered through horrendous accounts of rape and torture, and finally those who lost their family and their friends in this dark period in human history. It is vital that we learn from the individual accounts of those who survived, and from their stories learn to speak out in the face of injustice. We cannot remain silent. Today is not just about learning of what happened, but it is also about remembering those who suffered unimaginably through these horrors. Today is about standing with them and letting them know that they did not suffer in vain, and that we shall not forget.
And I'll be speaking on behalf of École Gabriel Roy. Since it is a Francophone school, I will be continuing in French. Nous sommes réunis ici aujourd'hui pour commémorer les millions de soldats et de civils chinois qui sont morts durant la Deuxième Guerre mondiale. Rappelons-nous de leur bravoure et de leur sacrifice, souvent méconnus par plusieurs. Il est inconcevable que de tels crimes se sont déroulés sous silence. De telles atrocités devraient être connues et rappelées par tous. Essayons de tirer des leçons de ce qu'on a appris aujourd'hui afin de favoriser la diversité et le mieux vivre ensemble. On aimerait remercier les personnes qui ont organisé cette journée afin de nous conscientiser au sujet de ces événements bouleversants.
If we believe in human rights, it's because firstly we honor humans, it's because we believe in the dignity of human life, and it's because we believe in inherent human rights. To honor the victims begins with remembering them, continues with sharing their stories and ensuring that it does not happen again. Finally, we honor them by seeking to be justice promoters in our school, communities, and throughout the world.
We're here to take and to share, and I want to thank everyone for sharing everything and their experiences, and I think that these experiences are here for us to remember the horrifying and terrible events. They are horrifying and they are terrible, but I think that they strengthen us to make the world much better, and we really are here to listen and to share our experiences. So I really want to thank everyone for having us all here today, and we are making history every day. That's what James says every day. So thank you.
One question that's often asked is, why are we here? We are here to listen to the stories told. We are here to remember those who suffered as a result of those stories. We are here to learn the lessons that we can learn from hearing these stories, and most importantly, we are here to change. As students, we are the leaders of tomorrow. It is our world that we have to grow into. And if we do not remember what has happened in the past in these horrific abuses, then it is possible that things like this could repeat themselves. And it is vital that we learn about these atrocities so that we may go forward every day with steadfast determination so that these things will never happen again and we will never see a World War III.